So my name is Dr. Sharifah Sakina Syed Ahmad. You can call me Dr. Sakina. So I'm from University Technical Malaysia, Melaka. All right. So if you want to know about my journey to become a data scientist and also to become a professor, okay, in this area, is actually my background or my degree is in applied mathematics. Okay, my degree is in applied mathematics, and then I'm continue doing my master's also in applied mathematics. Then I have the opportunity to study in Canada, continue my PhD in artificial intelligence. Okay, so I hope that all of you here also have the, not only for data is very important. So if you learn today, knowledge is very good. And then at the same time, you can also improve your knowledge about AI, how to do AI, how AI is working and so on. So I hope I can do also another sharing session with all of you about that particular topic. But for the time being, we focus on our enablement station. So it's actually under ASEAN Foundations. So as we know, ASEAN, we have 11 countries. And for ASEAN Foundation, is actually their mission is to build a cohesive and prosperous ASEAN community. So here we have around 70 participants in this session. So all of us is actually come from ASEAN country. Hopefully we can work together and achieve our target as an ASEAN community. Okay, so for this program, okay, ASEAN Data Science Explorer, what we are going to do is first, we want to focus on the regional analytic program. As I mentioned to you, now AI is very popular. Everybody is using AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, and so on. But how this AI works very well because of the data. Okay, so we have to know about our data, about the data analytics, and how this data can help in order to improve our activities or our case study and so on. So that's why this project is aimed to give awareness. So if you see, we just have 2 to 3 hours session. It's not enough. Okay, but it's good to have give you some awareness about data, and you can improve or you can more after this. If you want to know more detail, you also can contact me. I'm happy to share about what is the future career, what you can do next, and so on. And of course, it aiming to equip youth across ASEAN with data analytics skill and 21st century skill. Nowadays, data analytics skill is a must. If you have this skill, it's easy for you to be employed by the company, right? So that's why data is important. So 2 segments of ASEAN data science. First is this session, enablement session. And then the second one is actually about data analytics. Okay. So for this enablement session, what we are doing, we will do, actually the objective is introduce SAC. This is one of the tools, we call it SAC, which is SAP Analytic Tool. Okay, and we learned about data analytic with this tool. This tool is very powerful, very simple. That's why I just encourage everybody, if you don't have the background of computer science or statistics or, or related to analytics, it's okay. Okay, because this is actually the preliminary understanding, and then from there you can grow, you can understand. Then we promote the one competition under ASEAN. We call it ASEAN Data Explorer competition, and this competition is very simple and free. I hope all of the participants here try to take your time to join the competition, and it's good also for your, maybe you still in study for your CV because you join international or ASEAN level competitions. And of course, we have the opportunity to use the tools from SAP Analytic Cloud. And we will share. Later, I will give you the ID and also the password. So you will share the software, and you can use the software until 31st December 2026. Maybe you have your own project or you want to go more detail about the software, so you can also do your own later on. So this is the timeline about our program. So we will start with the upskilling workshop. Okay, actually they start early. ASEAN Foundation start early, but for my team, we just start in July actually. Okay, we just start our first session on 27 June actually. So now we are going aggressively to help ASEAN Foundation to do the training. And hopefully all of you can continue join the competition. And finally, maybe one or more than one can represent countries. Okay, for example, we have Cambodia, we have regional finalists. We also have the finalists for each of the country, and then later you will meet again for the final regional and also for the national final. Okay, so this is the software. Later we go, this is the detail. So you can just go to this website in order to know more detail about the competitions. And here is actually later we will use this as our login session. And then this is the detail. So here is actually later I will share. And this is more detail about the SAP. You can also go through. Okay, they have the course. You can enroll the course to know more detail and so on. Okay. So this is the contact person from ASEAN Foundation. You can email him to know more detail. Maybe you want to contribute or you want to be one of the volunteer. You can just email to Nove in order to know more detail about ASEAN. And then this is all the information or the social media. Okay, so we know that we are transitioning from the world of intuition to the world of evidence. Meaning that in order to make decisions, okay, in order to make decisions, we need to use our data. Okay, we need to use our data. We cannot just rely to the maybe intuitive. No, we need to use our data in order to help us to make better decisions. That's why ASEAN Foundations is focusing on this. And then actually, if you talk about economy, okay, the digital economy is projected to reach 1 trillion. So you are the player, the young mind, the good talent from ASEAN. You need to stand up and be good in this digital transformations, use of data, use of AI, and then you are the one who actually get the benefit. Okay, that's why data analytics help you to make decisions and help you to come out with a, insight from the scenario or the case that happened to our own countries. Okay, we cannot use the solution given by other countries. We need to look at our own country and come out with the solution. But how to do that better? By using data. Of course, analytics is everywhere in every industry. You name it, nowadays, you cannot stand alone. We need to optimize the process by using the data, for example, in energy, in traffic, in, predictions, and many more. So this is the growth of data professional. If you look at some of the statistics, yeah, data professional become, is a must in most of the industry. So if you are the engineer right now, so if you have the data analytics skills, so it help you, it will show that you are different with other candidates. If you are the journalist, right? Or if you are the HR, maybe management. So, but in order to manage people, you are using data and you know how to use your data. So that is actually the difference between you and your classmate, for example. But for those who are really in data scientists, yeah, you can do many things actually. You can join, you can become the champion in your company, for example. Okay. So this is the timeline. Hopefully, what is actually ASEAN goal for this program is first, this is what we are doing, explore the enablement session. So that's why you have to imagine that this is an explorations. It's not that when you finish these 2 or 3 hours, you become the expert. This is some exploration. You need to go deeper and then you compete. Why we do the competition? Because through the competition, we try to implement what we learn and we know more detail about the tools. And then finally, you try to get the SAP professional certification. And it's easy for you to get a job, like enter to the ASEAN talent pool. This is the purpose. That's why we give this session. It's a free session, introductions, but it's just give you some overview. So maybe some of you can try to look into whether I want to become a data scientist, or I just want to know something about the analytics. It helps you actually during your session or during your working later on. Okay, that's all for the first part. Any questions so far? Do you have any questions? Happy face?